Look, it's a flood.
It's a flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
New York wins big. Elmo gets to live.
Trump says Iran has no cards, yet they literally have a straight to give.
Michelle Obama might handle somebody after UFC 250.
As the fences around the reflecting pool are rising up and crashing
back through. After a long break, you no longer have to wait. It's Doc and Ziggy.
And we are the Flood.
That's right, your favorite weekly pop culture digest. You know we're your favorite. You don't know we're your favorite yet, but we know.
Oh, no, I meant put weekly in air quotes.
Oh, well, yeah.
Put weekly in air quotes.
Taking the news happening around you.
You're at least once a monthly.
Discussing how it shapes the culture that defines you.
And talks about
our pop perspective.
Oh, right. To put the culture in context.
And make the mainstream
make sense. Because if we don't make sense, we don't make dollars. Holla at the patron.
The true believers, the ones who know that even when we take our breaks, we coming back with the hot takes.
Enrage, peacock!
We see you as soon as the notification drops with the download
cool Slater. A Thunder Knight, Horizon, and Andrew P. Raymer.
And if you want to get like the rest of the crew, you can follow us at the Flood Pod on everything.
And that is on everything.
Welcome to you, new listeners. Welcome to all returning listeners. And our returning listeners know how we like to get down at the beginning of the show round.
And that is by abusing the algorithm. And this week's algorithm anthem is
Miss You Again by Oliver Tree. We gotta say R.I.P. to Oliver Tree, who died tragically in a nasty helicopter accident.
God damn it, stay out of helicopters, people!
I mean, and you know, with like, I don't know if you listen to a lot of his music. I've heard a lot of his music in passing, especially this song. This song was like big all over the TikToks and the shorts and the reels, right? Like, I'm sure you've heard more Oliver Tree than you realize.
I'm not familiar with the name, because when you said Oliver Tree, I had a double take.
What did it?
Olive Tree.
Oh, your Pavlovian response was to the
think about breadsticks.
That's Olive Garden.
Olive Tree was a local one in Annapolis.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there is a little local knockoff joint. Shout out.
Better than Olive Garden, honestly.
Probably. I've never been. I don't think I've ever been to the Olive Tree. I
heard about it through the grapevine
from Olive Garden. Speaking of takeout, R.I.P. to Oliver Tree,
and Takeoff,
taken out this weekend in a helicopter accident that took the internet no time to spur a whole bunch of conspiracy theories, relating to some of the topics of the songs that he put out and just like the overall message in a lot of his music and like awkward interviews. I've been seeing so many clips of awkward interviews of him being like, you never know when you're gonna die, and I always say it's gonna be my last album.
That sounds like some Mac Miller shit.
It's gonna be I'm still not over that. Self-Care being like the fucking last song this puts out before he accidentally ODs. Getting wild, right? And
I mean, then there's also the Tupac stuff where...
I mean, okay, so like the joke about Biggie, right, like, is that he was the first real emo rapper, maybe not the first real emo rapper, but one of the first big emo rappers, and like it's in the album titles, right? Like Born to Die, Ready to Die.
Yep.
Life After Death.
Yep.
Like, it don't get much more emo than a fucking 3 to 4 minute, what was that song? Like fucking 4 minute long, like just visceral lyrical assassination of a suicide letter.
Wait a second. Is gangster rap to hip hop what emo is to rock?
Not all, not all gangster rap. I see what you're trying to do there, but but you're not far off though, right? Especially when you go back and listen to a lot of like, I'll say like mid to like early 90s New York rap. It was like a lot of that shit was very like existential and heavy. And
I mean, there were horrorcore elements, even if horrorcore wasn't an actual formed genre yet.
You don't even gotta go through all of that. If you just listen to the lyrics, like them niggas didn't think they were gonna live past like 26. Like New York was like rough back then, right? Like
23, will I live to see 24? The way things are going, I don't know. Tell me why are we so blind? That guy got shot like killed like 2 years after that song came out.
I'm just saying. So you can understand why Biggie's albums would be, you know, titled around and kind of like lyrically structured around such elements of like, yeah, what the fuck is this all even for?
You know what I'm really sad for Biggie for?
What?
He never got to experience the Dreamcast. He was so hype over that Sega Genesis. He never got to see what the next step was with the Dreamcast. He would have been like, Crazy Taxi in 1999? Who thought I would live to see this day?
Do you think Biggie would...
That might be the best joke I've ever fucking told.
Do you think Biggie would be playing on a Steam Deck right now?
Yes, I think Biggie would be streaming.
Yeah, oh god. Actually, Biggie would probably be a really
Biggie would be streaming.
Because he was funny as shit.
Yeah.
Like, if them interludes on them albums, bro, was definitely, like, comical as fuck.
Just make sure he has to lock the door so Diddy doesn't interrupt.
So, you know,
I can totally see, like, nah, I'm not going to do that to Biggie.
It's no wonder, though, to me, when you have an artist whose lyrical content, right, consists a lot of those kinds of like existential thoughts when they die in such an unexpected manner, like a fucking helicopter crash, because you can't get more murder she wrote than that.
Yeah, I mean, like the helicopter crash is wild. I'm thinking of some other like self-fulfilling prophecy type of people, like
it just makes
Lane
me
Staley from Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain, except not really because he was murdered.
I mean, Tupac.
Probably still alive.
The
most convincing one was the 7-day theory.
It makes me think about Harrison Ford, though, and how many times he's crashed his plane, and I'm just like, what has Harrison Ford got that Kobe didn't have?
White privilege.
Yeah, I mean, Oliver Tree was white, though.
Yeah, but he was in a helicopter. Yeah. Not a plane.
And he wasn't driving, right?
So, like, Kobe had two things against him. He was in a helicopter and black.
Is that why you think Harrison Ford got his own pilot's license so they couldn't, you know, off him in a plane crash?
I mean, I thought you were going to take a much more wild direction with that question.
Nah, I mean, I'm going to be real. I watched a YouTube documentary just recently about Randy Quaid and the Star Whackers, so now I'm thinking about, like, along with the Oliver Tree thing, right? It's got me thinking about the celebrity hit squad, right? And now we're talking about, like, Mac Miller and Tupac and weird celebrity deaths. So it's like, I mean, maybe Harrison Ford was onto some shit, right? Like, maybe he knows a little something.
Future Dan, pause it. Look up who played Lando Calrissian.
Oh, Billy D. Williams? Hold on. Yeah, like, you're talking about it in the original run, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Billy D. Williams.
Okay. You see, the crazy thing is like, all of these people idolizing Harrison Ford when he's just trying to be Billy D. Williams.
I mean, Billy D. Williams was, at one point in time, the coolest motherfucker in America, right? Billy D. Williams was so damn cool that he made drinking 40 ounces and malt liquor seem luxurious. And that's just something I don't really think any influencer could pull off nowadays.
Billy D. Williams, what are you drinking? Colt 45, because I'm always loaded.
I don't remember if that's what the slogan was,
but that's a great slogan.
He definitely sold that shit. You definitely sold that shit just now. However, I don't feel like I stand by my statement. I don't feel like there's an influencer right now that could make you drink malt liquor today, right? Not
I would love to see Mr. Beast try.
to get somebody to drink a fucking hurricane.
Ooh, here's a little like side thing. Since we're gonna talk like, you know, and it is pop culture, the whole Mr. Beast 500 million subscribers, the 1 million giveaway for your fans for the old YouTubers, and our boy Philip DeFranco wins. We're still not over you stealing our segment, but you know.
I mean, listen, I don't know if you're willing to crash out with him in Pearl Mania, right? Like, I mean, my quiet rage could probably go toe to toe with Pearl Mania for a while, but do you think you could go
I feel like Alex and I
Phil?
would get into loud competitive agreement.
I don't feel like you would get paired up with Alex. I don't.
You think Phil and I on the side would just be like, I kind of see both points. Yeah, you know, you're right. Like, both of them are making solid points.
I think you are bombastic, right? Which initially would... No shade. No shade, by the way. I think your bombasticness, right, though, it would initially appeal to the idea that you would, in like that kind of like a sparring, like if we were like doing some kind of round table thing where it was like the Flood versus
crashing out.
Yeah, crashing out, that you would be the one paired up against with Alex. But I think if you go back and you review Flood tape, the quiet building rage that is some of my tangents and monologues is more akin to Alex Perlman. Right.
And I'm much more amenable than you. So Phil and I would get into competitive agreements.
Probably. Whereas me and Alex would probably just also agree, but just be yelling about it.
Actually, you know what? You know what we should do with the patron money that we have now, right now?
Right now?
I don't know
Shout
how much
out to
we
the
have.
patrons.
Shout out to our patrons.
Slater.
Rage Peacock.
A Thunder Knight.
Raya. And Andrew P. Redmer.
Because thanks to your donations,
I am thinking we use that to go see Crashing Out and get the behind the stage passes so we can confront Philip DeFranco and say, you stole our segment.
Damn it, I was really hoping you were going to be thorough with this shit and say we get the backstage passes and we go back there and we jump Philip DeFranco in front of his family. That's so
be like,
up.
hey, you have the backstage
That's a terrible
passes.
joke.
What's your name? Yusuke Urameshi.
What's your name? Hey, you guys, aren't you guys next for the meet and greet? What are your names? And I just look at the bodyguards and I'm like, his name is On and my name is Sight.
The reason he's Sight is because he's tall and he can see everything.
What it is.
Doc, did you I wear Doc, Dan, shut up.
We both wear contacts. That's not the point. It's not the point. The point, however, is that don't you think that even though our boy Philip DeFranco won, stunts like this kind of prove that the influencer market is kind of waning, right? The influence ain't really as impactful as it used to be. And I feel like, you know, him gathering all the influencers together to pull his shtick is very similar of like when VH1 combined like all their big reality TV show stars to make a new reality TV show, right?
Ben Shapiro's views are tanking. Like they're so yeah, and Ben Shapiro's views are tanking. People are legitimately questioning how many bots that he has working to get his view numbers up because the likes and the comments just don't seem to match.
And those I would even consider are like the top tier influencers, right? Like it's clear that Ben Shapiro is still an influencer. He's just an influencer of the political variety, right? Whereas like I'm talking more about the direct to market influencers, right? Like your Instagram influencers, your TikTok influencers, YouTube, Twitch, like those people, right? Like they are having an identity crisis, right? And I cannot take credit for this revelation, right? It was a video that I saw on YouTube by somebody who I don't know would call themselves an influencer or not.
Nobody makes anything original anymore. Deal with it.
But reacting to it, right? Watching the cringe that is these aspiring influencers trying to grasp onto what is left of the market, the dying market, as people kind of like get the ick and turn away from a lot of this online damn it, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Parasocial?
Yeah, on this online parasocial stuff, and like not an overcorrection in the wrong way, but an overcorrection from like the push towards AI, right? It seems like, I don't know, it seems beautiful in a way, because now a lot of what I see being pushed on YouTube is more like structured content, right? Like stuff that is much more either entertaining or infotainment.
AI is so prevalent now that it's become so like immediately, and like if certainly there are dead giveaways. It's like, oh, it's that font that's a ripoff of Edo.
Yeah.
Yes, because I know the font that they're ripping off.
I mean,
but also, like, you could just tell, and you're just like, oh, that has no soul.
Yeah, that's it.
I
right?
actually found the original poster of that quote, and it is from an ex-user. One second. I want to actually credit this person. All right, I wanted to credit you, but I don't care that much.
Yeah.
It was something wizard.
But
I can't remember if there was an underscore underneath of there between wizard and the first wizard, but I think it's like space wizard or night wizard or something like that. But he's the original source of the phrase, I now believe the human soul exists because I have seen art created without one.
I mean, when you say wizard, it just makes me think about what kind of magic it takes to be an influencer rushing to redefine your own personality, right, based on the market. Like, the kind of magic that it takes to be that kind of morph or a chameleon, or the evidence that proves to the fact that, like, all of this is so soulless.
And, you know, it's really funny that you mention how they're having to adapt, because coincidentally, on Crashing Out, Phil and Alex were talking about how Mr. Beast is having to try to adjust on the fly, as the people who really got him going when they were 12 are now 16.
To my point, exactly, right? So we see what almost feels like a death spiral for this kind of content when you get a bunch of famous YouTubers that all of those people have grown up with together to do what, you know, they used to love, right? It's like, oh, I can't really think of anything else new, so here's all these guys, you love these guys, right? And what if we played those old games that you
don't
used
make
to
me do
love
this,
us
but
play?
I have to defend Mr. Beast. This is the first YouTuber to get 500 million subscribers. It makes sense for him to celebrate the platform by bringing people who made the platform what it is.
Fair argument. But at this point,
like it's like celebrating an anniversary of a championship team.
I mean, listen, I know we're speaking from like an unctified platform here, but like as people who have been on the site for a long time, right? Like as observers and now creators, right? What do you feel like that kind of content still has a future on the platform? Or what kind of murmurings do you hear in your inner circles? Do you hear your nephews talking about Mr. Beast like that still?
No.
Right?
I mean, my one nephew... So, the younger sister's kids are, like, obsessed with baseball. They fucking love baseball.
Okay.
Logan... And then my 3 other nephews who are from my oldest sister. Logan's kind of just like a chill dude. He's got like a big ass Gambit tattoo on his thigh, so like,
Nice.
you know, Logan doesn't. Yeah, I don't see like internet trends really shaping him. Colin is a theater kid. So he's doing his own thing no matter what. And Brian is an athlete. Like a legit athlete. He's the fastest white guy in Maryland. The fastest white high schooler in Maryland. He might actually be the fastest non-black person in Maryland.
That's legit. So
his dad, his like claim to fame, like his dad used to run track. And as a joke, he was just like, yeah, man, I was really proud to say I was the fastest non-white or non-black person in the county. I wasn't the fastest white person because I was faster than people who weren't white. Hell yeah.
And that's none of this is to like shit on YouTubers either, right? Because
it's also not even necessarily to shit on white people for once. It's just kind of like, it's like when like Larry Bird was really good. It's like, hey, look at this guy.
Excuse me. No, I mean, this isn't even to shit on YouTubers when I say that like the kind of influencer culture might be on its way out, and examples of it are showing themselves all over the place, right? But YouTubers with a true art or a true craft, like people who, like I said, are actually making unique, informative entertainment, are thriving right now, right? Like 2 of the biggest horror movies in the most recent 2 of the biggest horror movies in the last year were directed by YouTubers, right? Markiplier's movie Iron Lung did fantastic numbers, right? And Kane Parsons' movie The Backrooms
wasn't Obsession also YouTube? I mean, Obsession isn't that based off of the meme? Like that was where the concept came from.
I believe so.
Like the over obsessed girlfriend meme where she's just like bug eyed smiling.
Yep. So that, I mean, once again, YouTubers are out here making like real transformative content. So that's not to shit on every influencer or person who spent their time on YouTube or developed their craft on YouTube, right? Pause. I need to plug my laptop in anyway.
That's the HDMI port. That explains a lot.
I'm over here like, nigga, it is not that damn hard. Hold on. Now I gotta plug the laptop in. Give me just a moment. Are you boys here from out of town?
Nope. Just strolling through. Well, you better get strolling then. With that one in your car. Well, didn't know it was that kind of place. See you later.
Jesus Christ. The Backrooms was fantastic. One more time, Future Zig. And the Backrooms was fantastic, though. I saw that shit with my son over the weekend, and I can't say that I was ever bored during the movie, right? And if you saw the YouTube series that greenlit the movie, that attracted A24 to the movie, who we'll talk about in a minute. But at this point, right, it's not even about A24. It's about what happens when Hollywood doesn't rely on such familiar content, right? Or, and you know, the argument could be made whether or not this counts as familiar content. But I
feel like this would fall in the same line of a movie based off a novel.
I agree. You know, because like it developing the short series, right, and then having that attract investors to make a more longer form version of this doesn't,
because it's a complete transformation of the medium. You go from trying to create something that's 4 minutes long to creating an entire narrative that's over an hour. And
Kane did one of the things that I thought was really fantastic about the movie is Kane's ability to set tension using just like the scene elements, right? Like the movie does not
relies on liminal space.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
as somebody who does marketing for construction, I look at a lot of pictures of liminal space. It is disorienting to look at a hallway all the way down and see no one.
I mean, that is literally the point of the back rooms, right? Is that these are very uncanny, familiar, unfamiliar spaces. Like, I've never been here, but this space feels like somewhere I've been before, kind of deal, right? And
or this hallway that just goes on and on and on.
Yes, and nothing about the hallway changes, right? So it becomes a very, like, static image in your brain almost, something that makes you feel uneasy.
You're moving, but you're stuck.
And I feel like from like the very beginning of the movie, you are made to feel uneasy, right? And it doesn't ever really let you let go of that the entire time, which is something I love from like a kind of psychological thriller, right? And it does have a few of its jump scare moments. It wouldn't be like a YouTube baby if it didn't.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think they were ever like distasteful, if that makes sense, right? Or felt cheesy.
I'm wondering what the anonymous commenter on that photo on 4chan, who was probably high out of their mind, just talking nonsense, of that picture of that blank room, and was like, yo man, that's like the back rooms. Like, that's where you get stuck in the in-between. And if you stay in the in-between too long, you get lost, and you can never get out of the back rooms. You're just going to go to another room that's like that, and then to another room.
I mean, this...
And then another...
The space in between spaces really does seem to be the focus of a lot of, like, cosmic-type horror lately. Like, you've got,
It's a pillar of Magic the Gathering's like lore is the blind eternities, also known as the space between worlds.
Yeah, or what is it called in Christianity?
Purgatory?
Yes.
Limbo?
Yes. And I mean, it is limbo.
Same thing.
Right? The Backrooms definitely hits on limbo, right? Like, that is more limbo than it is purgatory.
I think they actually chose purgatory instead of limbo because it just sounds more white.
I mean, limbo does kind of...
sounds voodoo-y.
It gives you I was going to say it invokes images of the game, right? Where...
You lost.
Wait,
the rapper, the metaphysical game, the concept of a game? What game?
Limbo.
Oh, that too. The game of Limbo. Oh.
Yes. Right. Where it's like...
Limbo does kind of sound voodoo-y, though.
Purgatory makes it feel... I think that's because you associate the game with, like, people on vacation in island areas.
Well, no, they're like, when you say the game like that, I'm immediately thinking I lost. So like
That's because
you would have
your
to
internet
you would have
knows
to
it's
phrase
not my-
that.
it's
You would
not-
have to
no,
phrase
I know
that
I
like
don't.
when
No,
you
I
think
don't.
of Limbo, you think of the game where they go under the bar. Where,
keep
if
trying
you ask
to.
me if you think about the game, I am immediately going, fuck, I lost.
That's because you're internet pilled. Most people hear context of the word limbo and game and think, oh yeah, two poles, people bending
But
over.
I'm also Catholic, and we had multiple councils about that.
About
And the
poles and people bending over?
Well, about Limbo. So I guess. And we determined that it is purgatory, not limbo. Limbo, no real. But can you get low?
Speaking of getting low, you can't get much lower than
To the window!
trying to force AI contracts on people. And as we are talking about A24, you were telling me that A24 was caught up in some very interesting controversy.
Well, it's not as much of a controversy as there is controversy to the decision they made to sign a very lucrative contract with an AI company that is owned by Google with the intent of trying to find ways to use AI in filmmaking, which is quite something coming from the darling art house Hollywood studio.
And this just adds to a lot of the, I don't want to say ill will, but the ill reception that A24 has been having on the internet recently. The tide is seeming to turn on the production company, whereas they were very beloved in the beginning for the, like, as you pointed out, indie art house style movies that they were putting out. People now look at them as a factory mill of whatever the fuck script you could throw at a wall. Kind of like the same accusations that were being lobbied at Family Guy towards the end.
Well,
Right.
I mean, it was so bad that literally South Park made a. We talked about this. The How to Make a Family Guy
Yeah.
joke. You have manatees and a thing knock beach balls into a slot machine.
The A24 format is a running joke on a lot of like TikTok trends and stuff right now.
Please do enlighten.
Trends and stuff like that. I mean, it's just I can't necessarily describe it. It's something that you have to see, but once you see it, you'll be like, oh yeah, no, their movies do be like that.
I mean, they definitely did. They won an Oscar.
They have put out some good, or I guess I should say A24 has given a lot of new and up and coming directors and actors and producers the room to breathe, right? And I can't shit on them for that. However, this excuse that you were saying they gave for signing this AI contract.
Hold on, time out. Don't say that yet. Because I haven't even given that excuse yet. That's where I'm going to play devil's advocate.
I mean, we could still have alluded to, or I could have alluded to it. Okay, so, I mean, they've done a lot of good, right? And I feel like they should have had a lot of goodwill, but however, recently people have been finding a lot of the movies that they've been putting out very formulaic, very tired, right? So this doesn't feel like it's going to help their goodwill.
Well, maybe they are trying to bank on that goodwill and some social capital, because as someone who works in design, I use Photoshop regularly. And there are a few tools in Photoshop that are technically considered Gen AI, like the magic remover and the generative fill. And the generative fill basically, like, say the top of someone's head is cut off. You can expand the canvas, make a selection of where the top of their head would be, and then fill this with hair that matches XYZ. And it would just fill that in. So technically that is Gen AI. Or the background remover tool where you can just select a person and remove them.
I feel like that is a very...
And
I feel
like now that is a time saver, because that is something that I would be able to do, but it would take substantially more time just tediously using the clone stamp and dragging in other pixels. And if, from what I have seen from A24, is they see this as an opportunity for them to be at the discussion table when they're talking about how these tools will be utilized, instead of just being given the tools and told to use them. So I can actually understand where A24 is coming from here, where if they are going to be the first studio that is offered significant investment into this technology, they can at least guide how it's going to be used. Now, here's why I am playing devil's advocate here. Because of my graphic design experience.
Sure.
And like the magic remover and the generative fill tools. Those technically would be AI supported.
To call those AI, though, I don't know, feels like calling Photoshop AI, right? Like, I get how enhanced tools border on and use AI platforms to function, right? I understand that. I don't necessarily, and we can say this is me splitting hairs here, right? But I don't necessarily put those in the same category as like the large language models and the AGI that require these huge data centers.
Neither do I. And that is why I say, if those are the types of things that they are using the AI investment for, like, when I use Photoshop, the background remover is an incredible tool. It's not perfect.
But the logical extent of that is the image generation and like the video generation that is Sora, right? And what was the big image generator that everybody was using when it first became like a trend? I don't remember what it's called.
Nano Banana?
Maybe. I mean, Gemini now, right? Or Grok, if you want to put somebody in a bikini, allegedly. But that's okay. So that kind of hints at the conflict that comes with the extreme of these enhanced tools that function on AI languages, right? So. I'm not a fucking Luddite when it comes to AI, but I think there is something skeevy about posing your $1 million contract, right? Huge groundbreaking contract with one of the most corrupt companies in this industry, right? And disguising it or presenting it under the guise of trying to be the good guys in the system, when I do think that we do need to begin having the discussion about how can we curve this, right? Because it's not going anywhere. And with things on the rise like fucking AI models in fashion magazines, like fashion magazines aren't even like taking
real people
pictures anymore. They take a picture of a model in a room and then they AI generate her image in whatever pose, whatever clothes they want.
They take the image of the dress and then make the perfect model for it.
I'm saying what I've seen reported, so from like the fashion industry and models in the industry recently, right? Like they are saying that what they are being called to do on these shoots now is just stand in a room, spin in circles, and then they will see their image plastered on billboards or in magazine spreads in different poses and in different clothes, like you said, right? So like they're not even modeling anymore. And we've got companies like Hasbro.
That's gross.
Trying.
God, I would feel so gross if I was one of those models.
Oh, you want to make it even grosser? Let's include kids, because Hasbro.
Fuck Hasbro. Oh man, you saved a spot in this podcast for me to shit on Hasbro. I love it. You're the best.
It was revealed recently in an 11-month strike with Hasbro over contract issues and things like AI that
I'm well aware of controversies involving Hasbro.
Hasbro is insisting that they agree to the use of AI, thus allowing them to use a child's voice in commercials assisted with their franchise. That they are pushing young performers to sign contracts allowing them to AI generate their voice, right? As stated, in commercials and other associated content with the project that they are, or the franchise that they are currently voice acting in, right? Children. They
yearn for the lines. That's a bar. God, I have made so many stellar fucking jokes this episode.
It's disgusting, right? Like,
it is absolutely gross.
Who shouldn't even be like pushed to sign contracts like that, right? Because
did we not watch an entire fucking docu-series about Nickelodeon doing this? Didn't Jodie Sweetin die?
There's no way.
Is she still alive? I thought. Did she die? Who died? I thought somebody from Full House died.
I don't remember. Bob Saget.
Well, no, I know Bob Saget died.
Oh.
I thought one of the girls died. Yeah, not important. Whatever. Fuck them.
Damn, not fuck them.
Fuck them white girls. Well, this is 2026. We don't care about white women anymore.
Well, fuck Hasbro for trying to.
Fuck Hasbro for sure.
Push contracts on children who can't potentially.
I actually don't have a problem with white women. I just wanted to keep momentum.
I have a problem with a company trying to push contracts on children who can't even begin to grasp the concept of what selling over or signing over the rights to their voice even means. Taylor Swift is currently trying to pursue patents or something like that over her voice generating phrases like hello and hi, this is Taylor, yep. Right? And so is Matthew McConaughey, because in the age of AI, these companies do things like steal your voice and will fucking tweak it. I was just watching the two women who do a lot of the voice work for the Bluetooth settings and like a lot of the telemarketing calls and stuff. Mm-hmm. Is that but I was watching them talk about what it's like being a voice actor in this day and age with like AI and like hearing themselves in content they didn't necessarily remember recording, right? Like, pretty much saying that companies would take their voice and have them read scripts and put it on shit that like they didn't know they were actually like reading for, right? Or like tweak their voice to make them say things they didn't.
Yeah, it's the type of thing where like there's always been the joke of never pose for stock photography. Now it's just kind of like don't pose for anything, because then you'll just turn into an AI like mannequin.
Yeah, man. It's gross, and if it's not Hasbro trying to force kids to sign over their voice rights, then you know you've got anime and manga publishers being encouraged, quote unquote, to use AI to generate translations of their content, right? So it's like all across the board, no matter where you look, we are in a scenario, or we are in a society where AI is going to, or has, let's just be real, it has become inescapable. So as the refashion hippie on Instagram pointed out in her piece about the AI generated fashion content and how it is affecting minors, which I definitely recommend you go check out. We need to begin having the discussion about how we can curb the harmful effects of AI. As you pointed out, what it can be used for and useful for, right? And how we are going to make this as ethical as possible across the board, and that includes the environmental effects that it's having, because if we're not talking about like the social impact that like actual AI generated content is having, and then it's the environmental impact that these data centers are imposing.
So just to touch back on what you said, like the practical uses that I've seen, like removing somebody from a picture has been possible for a very, very, very
Shout out
long
to Stalin.
time. Yes, I was literally going to say Stalin removing people from state photography. It's been something that has been able to be done for a very, very long time. Over time, it has become easier to do. Having a tool that is able to easily remove something from a photo certainly does not remove the human element of editing said photo.
I think, as we've seen with the few AI-generated movies that have come out,
Slap.
the AI-generated content, even when it is like Iran's Lego videos.
All right, those are the most fire AI videos.
But that's
I've seen.
because they are very akin to shit posting, right? So, as good as AI has become,
And they probably have like
it is
AI
still
without guardrails.
only good for shit posting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is all of the quote best AI videos I've seen are things that I'm like, I never would have made that. They fucking wasted that water. I got one laugh. Keep scrolling.
Unless we're talking about Israel trying to convince everybody Benjamin Netanyahu is not dead.
I mean, there's a non-0% chance that within 1 week we could lose Trump, Bibi, and Putin.
Okay, like, thank you for pointing that out, because like if AI was really that good, do you think they would let that video of Donald Trump's toupee being flipped up float around? Like, that video is either AI or AI and the government are not as competent as you would think, right?
I am grown to believe that the competent is far less competent than we think. Unless we're talking about like 30 guys in the government that are really hyper-focused on you.
It sounds like the worst gangbang ever. What also sounds like the worst gangbang ever is the leaked list to Peter Thiel's wannabe secret society.
I heard about that.
Man, can we not be so like campy and cliche? Like, Jeff hasn't even been dead 2 years, Peter. Jesus Christ, and you trying to get a new pedophile club
Jeff
started?
has been dead for almost 7 years.
Has it 7 years?
He died in 2019.
Too
he died
soon.
when Trump was president.
Too soon, Peter. It's too soon, Peter. And that goes for both their age and setting up a new pedophile club. Dude, I'm really like disappointed because like, once again, this list of names was almost worse than the list of names to come from Jeff's little black book. Like, we've had time to accept and expect the people that were gonna be on Jeff's list, but like the people on the Peter Thiel list, there's one person specifically that I'm upset was on this list.
And is it Wes Moore?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
So here's the thing. I was reading up on this, and then I just happened to think about, coincidentally, the timing of this drop. A week before Maryland's Democratic primaries.
Yeah, listen, that's fair.
And then, the fact that this group dialogue is Googleable. And that Wes and his press secretary were like, yeah, I never met him. I spoke at the thing once and left. And I'm, I'm not gonna go full crusader when we have a literal pedophile in the White House.
So, the list revealed over 200 participants in what is known as Dialogue, or Peter Thiel's wannabe secret society. What a fucking lame-ass name for a secret society. I mean, like, I don't expect anything better.
They just name shit after Tolkien characters.
Fucking wannabe Christo tech nerd, but, like, the list included everybody from Elon Musk, Ted Cruz, Cory Booker, and even Wes Moore, apparently. Like, who else was on here? An actor was on here. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I think. Yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was on this list, right? That include, like, Dialogue.
That was a weird one to see. I'm like, you're kind of just like a non-problematic white guy, and you just show up on this list?
The Social Society Club included everybody from senior military officials, government executives, tech financiers, and tech founders to actors. And, like, and they
apparently Wes was also there, like, almost a decade before he was governor.
So, I mean, he was on the ground floor. I don't know if that makes me feel good either. Like, this list does make me feel like Peter Thiel has his tentacles in a lot more shit than...
oh, I agree. But I also feel like it's a hit job based on timing.
But the group organized retreats and different sessions for people to get together, and mixers for people to get together and discuss.
I'm just going to put this in a little bit of perspective.
Philosophical.
If you look at highlights from the 1999 finals, when the Knicks were last in the finals, you can see Jeffrey Epstein behind the Knicks bench. That's all I'm saying.
The retreats included... Dude, this shit is so wacky. The retreats included seminars and discussion and, like, workshops around things like navigating World War III, building a cult, and my favorite, how's your sex life?
That actually sounds like a fantastic, like, prelude to a Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
How's
like,
your
if
sex
your
life?
entire campaign went through that.
Oh, wait.
And then the DM is like, I have an idea now.
It sounds like the Fallout they want to give us, the Fallout we deserve, but they can't because, like, it's supposed to be a kid's game. However, Dialogue is no kid's game. This is for the big boys, right? The real movers, the real shakers, the people who weren't included on the nasty sex party list, right?
Every time I think about it, I just think of the end of that Onion video. Man, Jeffrey Epstein must have been so cool. He had a private sex island.
You know what's really cool? The fact that nobody on the list in America has been arrested yet.
There have been more people arrested for touching the reflecting pool than there have been for being on the Epstein list.
There have been more dirt bikes jumped on the White House lawn than there have been people.
All right, I need to put a pause. Hold on. Dirt bikes are cool. Dirt bikes are cool. Dirt bikes are cool.
I mean,
putting them where they were was not cool. I'm not gonna let you say that dirt bikes aren't cool.
Nobody was gonna say
dirt bikes in front of a printout of the White House that's in front of the White House. I'm not gonna say is it cool, but it's definitely not cool. But it's not like it's definitely like weird. But dirt bikes. No, I'm not even gonna let you just say that they're not. I'm not gonna let you call them uncool. I'm not even gonna let you say that they're not cool. Dirt bikes are cool. Dirt bikes are fucking cool.
I wasn't gonna say that the dirt bikes weren't cool. What's not cool is the fact that we spent fucking 8 years criticizing everything Obama did. Can you imagine if Obama had put a fucking takeaway court in the fucking White House lawn and threw the most fire and one tournament and to ever exist, and motherfuckers was doing nasty dunks and shit?
All right, let's do a full I just got an idea. Let's assume. Roll up your sleeve.
Can you imagine?
They let Barry get away with everything Dottie's getting away with.
No.
What does America 250 look like under Barry Unhinged?
It's fucking Obama doing some sick, nasty 360 dunks. Can you imagine?
The entire ball smells like weed.
Can you imagine, bro? No, it smells like fucking menthol cigarettes. What are you talking about?
Can you like the National Mall has got like a greenhouse thing, and there's a bunch of straws sticking out so everybody can use the reflecting pool as a bong?
No, I'm fucking, because I'm too stuck on the idea of fucking Barry driving up the key with a fucking Newport 100 in his mouth and going for the nasty one-handed hook dunk on fucking Ted Cruz, right?
While LeBron looks and he's like, bro, I was open.
Yeah, no, fucking LeBron throws him the alley-oop while he's got the fucking Newport in one hand. And he hits that fucking fadeaway with the arms stretched out, bro.
No, it's the reverse of the Wade LeBron. Yeah. This time it's LeBron doing the Wade and Obama is up in the air with the ball.
Yes, and fucking Mitch McConnell's just lying on the ground. With his ankles literally broke. Yeah, no, it would have been disgusting. They would have never been able to handle it. It would have been bitching about it on Fox News for fucking years. They've been talking about that more than they were talking about the stolen election. They'd have been like, and you remember how Barack Obama just disrespectfully dangled his nuts in Mitt Romney's face?
And like, we're looking at Trump's sad sack, pathetic America 250 thing. Like, and he just did like his... Unhinged Barry would have had a hell of a fucking 250. Like, that would have been...
Yes.
That would have been a cookout.
Yes.
That would have been a cookout.
The fucking... the Fugees would have been there. Fucking Stevie Wonder would have come back to life. Is Stevie Wonder dead? I don't...
No, Stevie Wonder's... Oh, that... I sent you this thread. I wanted to ask you...
Prince would have come back to life.
What was up with Stevie Wonder's wife? Or what was up with Ray Charles' wife that she just got beat on all the time? Ray Charles is blind.
Damn. Listen, this isn't the Brilliant Idiots podcast, okay? This is, what's the new one?
I am fairly certain I sent that to you on Threads.
Yeah. No, again, Prince would have come back to life because... Barack Obama was still president somehow.
Boys to Men would have done a super group with the Temptations
and sung the national anthem, and it would have made the entire world cry. Native
Americans, like, they would be on a hillside where they see a whole bunch of white people planting trees, and all of a sudden a single tear, and they'd be like, "Why are you crying?" And they go, "I've never been so happy."
Yeah, instead we got a giant claw on the White House lawn, and we got to watch people beat the piss out of each other, which was cool because there were some cool knockouts, right? I'm not gonna front on that.
I did not watch.
Dirt bikes are cool.
Dirt bikes are fucking cool.
Fight sports are cool, right? What's not cool is calling the former First Lady a man. Now, this joke is plenty tired. And it is thrown at black women a lot.
Addendum.
Especially like tall, not like, I don't want to say imposing because that feels like I'm agreeing with
Addendum.
Go ahead.
So are you familiar with the game Cards Against Humanity?
Yes.
There is a white card in Cards Against Humanity, which, as you know, the white cards are answers to the questions.
Yeah, because white people would love
One
to
of
be the
them,
answer to the question.
Famously, is Michelle Obama's arms. How do you feel about that card?
So, as we put in the Chiron, I think people should really watch their mouths talking about Michelle Obama. As I was alluding to earlier, the accusation is lobbied at fit black women a lot that they are quote unquote manly. And yes, there will be some all women out there in the audience, and it is true that, you know, the more athletic looking a woman, the more she gets a damn bro, do you lift? But like, yeah, Michelle Obama got some fucking guns on her, and I thought this was America. I thought Michelle Obama openly exercising her Second Amendment right to bear arms would be celebrated in this fucking country.
Her look will drop dead and she'll knock you the fuck out!
Especially at a UFC tournament. And I think that people should really start watching their mouths before Michelle or Barack decides to go Will Smith on somebody. What they gonna do?
Whose slap would hurt more?
Probably Michelle's.
I was about to say, probably Michelle's.
I can't imagine Barack slapping somebody, honestly. I feel like Barack is a gut puncher. I just, you know.
No, I feel like Barack would do a Frank
roundhouse
Lucas.
Kick. A shoot a nigga cold.
Just shoot him right in the head.
That's because he's from Chicago. I feel like that's a little.
No, that just Barry's vibe to me. You don't want to get dirty.
I feel like that's the Chicago thing. Nah, I got Barack punching a nigga dead in his stomach like, poof, yeah, talk that shit now. With the wind knocked out of your fucking chest.
So would you expect the Pope to shoot a guy cold in the head?
Is that because he's from Jersey? Like,
no, he's from Chicago.
Oh, he's from Chicago. Oh, this Pope
he's from
is-
Southside.
Chicago.
Actually, there was a super wholesome moment. Pope Leo the 14th, also known as Dope Pope II, also known as Da Pope, was visited by 2005 World Series champion White Sox catcher AJ Pierzynski. And AJ Pierzynski gave him the last out ball from Game 1 of the 2005 World Series, where if you watch the highlights on YouTube, you can see Pope Leo sitting right behind home plate.
That's kind of fire, though. It is kind of fire.
And if you've ever wondered why everybody gives Pope Leo a baseball bat, it's because he really loves the White Sox. He loves the White Sox.
Speaking of wholesome moments, the World Cup is happening right now. And all across the internet, all kinds of different interactions and just a fan service is being served. Right, the World Cup, the European invasion has hit America, and Europeans are across the board astounded to see America in the state that it is in, whether it be for the good or for the better. I've seen videos of Europeans who are like, "Oh, America isn't this shithole country."
Scotland drank Boston out of beer.
Scotland drank Boston out of beer.
And Japanese people are amazed how big food is in Texas.
Yeah, lots of people are amazed at like things, American cultural things like free refills, and the portion sizes continue to impress Europeans, no matter how much of a fucking like cultural stereotype that has been for the longest time. What also is obviously true about this World Cup is that Mexico is fucking crushing right now in more ways than one. They just did like a fucking huge leftist like healthcare sweep and like all kinds of like,
and their team is playing well too.
Yes, like killing it, like fucking absolutely crushing. At this point, it really looks like it might be Mexico, and I am a very casual soccer fan.
I am not a soccer fan at all.
I like soccer. I appreciate it. I really want to watch the World Cup, but I can't because I'm not fucking subscribing to Fox 1 or there's only one other fucking streaming service it's on right now, and that sucks because I remember very vividly when things like this would be easily accessible if you just had like a fucking premium cable package, but now, you know, whether you pay for 6 streaming services or not, that's still not enough. But it looks like as of right now, Switzerland, Mexico, Brazil, Morocco, and the U.S. Are all in the top of Germany as well, are all in the top of their groups. The Netherlands is doing great.
Is Ireland in there?
Let's see. Not in Group A.
If they're not, then my next question is, did England lose?
Ireland is not in the top 4 of any of the groups that I
Is
seeing.
England? Now I'm hoping for a no.
England is in the top of Group L.
Fuck England.
But they only have 1 win so far, it looks like. With the most points scored during either game being 2, for a total of 4 points altogether.
So, one of my favorite people at work, her name is Julie.
If I'm reading this accurately.
She is British, and she has, like, a license plate that says, I'm British. So, like, I love her to death. Total sweetheart. But, you know, like, anytime she's, like, you know, talking about, I'm British, I'm just like, I'm Irish. And I do the little, like, 1900s white boxer, like, spin the thing, like, fists around, and she does it too. And it's like a playful back and forth.
I feel like it might just
But yeah,
be,
no, like, they definitely enslaved our people.
I feel like it might just be a bit of oppositional defiance here, but like I really want to get more into soccer. Not that I don't enjoy American football, right? But I feel like soccer is a very entertaining sport to watch if you know what you're watching.
Do you know what else is another entertaining sport? Basketball! It's my favorite sport. I like to dribble all up and down the court. And we have to do none other than give a shout out to the New York Knicks
For this
winning the
literal
NBA championship.
Championship
For the first time in 53 years. And I have to admit, I said I was rooting for the Knicks because the world sounded like it would be more fun if the Knicks won. And it's certainly more fun that the Knicks won.
It definitely has been. I mean, New York is on a real win streak right now. I heard
The Knicks won, and then all of Zoran's endorsements won their primaries.
the rent freeze just passed.
Yep.
So, like, New York is on a real, like, I mean, listen, you can Stephen A. Smith all you want about wah, there's no such thing as free shit. This country, but Zoran would like to have a word with you about that.
I mean, like, if you I saw this clip of Mike Johnson where they were like, if the Democrats win in November, they're gonna take all of these committees and they're gonna have them do investigations and they're gonna go after all of us. And I'm just like, yo, don't threaten us with a good time.
I'm like, come on now. Why would you say some shit like they're so scared they're saying the thing they're scared about out loud, right?
Like, oh, we might destroy you.
Could you imagine being so afraid of Bloody Mary that you accidentally say that shit 3 times? Because that's what they're doing. They're like, oh no, don't investigate us. Don't investigate us.
It'd only be scarier if they said Biggie Smalls 3 times.
They're gonna investigate us. It's getting to the point now where even Gavin Newsom is like trying to spin his whole I don't want a wealth tax thing and suggesting maybe we just tax billionaires, right? Which feels like a weird compromise, but okay, Gavin, if you're really willing to do it to not cannibalize yourself, then prove it.
I will say,
Prove it.
when Gavin says that,
Prove it, Gavin.
Mom Donnie has that tax for anybody making $1 million or more. And I remember when that first came to like the public attention and we covered it, I made sure to note that $1 million in Manhattan is a lot less than $1 million pretty much anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, but there's also a lot of millionaires in Manhattan. And it's also fair to state that if they up the property tax on anybody's second home in fucking California, that California could stand to reap a lot of fucking revenue.
Oh, for sure.
Just from that alone. So, like, let's not pretend like things like wealth taxes mean unfairly targeting the rich,
But
right?
when my saying that is, there's a reason Gavin said, well, billionaires. Because billionaires, fuck them. They can afford it.
I mean,
I don't give a shit. You can have 1 billion. You can have 1 trillion. We're not going to even touch Elon right now. Pause.
No one wants to touch Elon.
If you're at the billion phase, fuck you. Just fuck you. That's where I'm at.
I'm at the point where it's fuck any exploitation of somebody who is just trying to get by. The mega wealthy in this country literally want it so that people making less money than they can afford to invest, or people who don't make enough money to be able to invest in companies, don't deserve to own anything. That's what they think.
And I think this is important. Like, think about a small business owner where all of their capital and assets combined, yes, would equal $1 million. But this is a small restaurant in a high rent location with a whole bunch of high end cooking equipment and enough liquid capital to make payroll.
That's my point. Like, there's a difference between
It can get messy.
Taxation
and
without
it takes time to filter through all of the shit. And if that's one thing I've noticed with Zoran, is he's very good at explaining that it takes a while to go through all of the web of shit.
See, we say that, and it seems like Zoran is doing a fantastic job of navigating that very quickly, though.
Yeah, he's
Right.
explaining it, and then he's just like, we just had to turn off the baby shredding
And
machine.
there's a difference between over-taxation without representation and the clear exploitation
of the tax system.
of the tax system and people's burden to the current state of the economy, right? I mean, once again, I'll keep making the joke that fucking gas and milk cost the same per gallon right now, and that's fucking crazy. You know what else is fucking crazy? Companies like PlayStation deciding that whether you paid for a thing or not, they can just take it from you regardless. PlayStation is in hot water right now because they are reportedly deleting 550 movies from their platform that have been distributed by Studio Canal.
Let me give you another add-on to that. GTA 6's release date has been announced, and pre-orders have been announced as well, and they've been open. But for all of the people that are pre-ordering a physical copy, they are going to get a case with a code in it. There is no physical copy of Grand Theft Auto 6.
On June 24th, PlayStation put out a post on what looks like X, stating that as of September 1st, 2026, due to our contract licensing agreement, you will no longer be able to watch any of your previously purchased Studio Canal content, and the content will be removed from your library.
No wonder physical media has been making a comeback.
You don't own anything unless you can actually fucking touch it.
I own one album. Oh, wait, I have a CD. I have a CD too.
A massive collection of CDs, massive collection of vinyls, a decent collection of DVDs, and a fair amount of VHS tapes, because you should. Because they lied to you. They pitched convenience, just like they're doing with AI. And please believe they know that even though it's good and it's shiny and it's captivating, it's not gonna last, and it's not as good as they're promising, and they can do weird shit with it, like change the color ratio of old TV shows that you love to watch for some reason and make them look really grayscale and washed out, so that you don't want to watch that anymore. You want to watch the new stuff, the shinier stuff, right? From Dusk Till Dawn, Cliffhanger, The Terminator, like I said, all of those movies, if you purchase them for digital download.
Gather all up your crew. It's time to ship out Bix's brew. See
And-
wind blows to where, who knows, the waves will be our guide.
As Zig pointed out,
Or across the ocean's tide. Rays, sun shines far and wide. Birds they sing and cheerful things in circles passing by.
GTA 6, which may also be the first $100 game, is releasing without a physical disc.
Cross the gold and silver seas, the salty spray puts us at ease. Day and night to our delight, the voyage never ends. Yo-ho-ho!
Listen, I'm not gonna expose who it was, but a friend of mine just recently, as I was telling them about my recent trip to go see the Backrooms movie, told me how they downloaded the new Mortal Kombat movie because they didn't want to pay to go see it. And part of the reason why that was brought up was because I told them that it cost me $70 for $50 for 3 tickets, $20 more for a large popcorn, a large drink, and a small drink. Now, it has historically been stereotypical for concessions to be overpriced at the movie theater. It has been that way since at least the early 2000s, right? But movie tickets, 3 movie tickets, being $50
Crazy.
is crazy work, and I can tell you confidently that that was also surge pricing, because when I looked at the tickets the night before, they were $2 cheaper than when I bought them as we were going to go see the movie.
Yo-ho-ho! Yo-ho-ho!
Gotta love AI, right? Because things like that weren't
Gather
possible
all up of your crew. It's time to drink some Binks's brew.
before you could automate processes like adjusting the pricing based on the time
I
the
need to
customer
get the crowd
was
to start
looking.
chanting that shit before we storm the White House.
I probably shouldn't say
Gather
this.
all above our crew. It's time to set some Binks's brew.
I probably shouldn't say this in front of all of the tech, but I specifically renew my YouTube Premium on my Dell computer because the price is $2 cheaper than when I do it on my iPhone.
The waves will be our guide.
In the same house. This doesn't even have anything to do with the location. This is literally just 2 different devices, 2 different prices. What kind of
Bars?
fucking...
Unintentional?
No, that was intentional, but
Oh.
also bars.
Bars. Drop the Jalen.
What kind of world are we living in? Can you imagine going to watch... Now, this is going to be a deep cut for Zoomers because you guys might not remember...
They also
fucking
can't read.
pay-per-view TV, right? But like, can you imagine being charged 2 different prices for a pay-per-view movie because the TV in your upstairs bedroom was nicer than the TV in your downstairs living room?
Yeah, actually.
In the early 2000s?
Capitalism's a bitch like that.
I mean, if you can imagine that, to me, that concept seems crazy. Paying 2 different prices for
They wouldn't
WrestleMania.
show it on the same... Like, I would have to go up and down between them and then to check. And then I'd have to challenge my ADHD and be like, wait, did I get that number right upstairs? And then I
Yeah.
go up and double check and it'd be
Sure.
like, but I never remember the one from downstairs correctly.
So my point is it's still hard to fucking imagine,
yeah.
right? Like,
All right, that's fair.
But that's the world we live in now. We live in a world where fucking Sony can be like, oh, we don't have that contract
The
anymore.
world
you can't
is
watch that movie."
illuminated by gaslights.
Except for the movies that we watched, which is why they all look washed out, because everything is LED lights now, and it makes
spotlights because there's no room for nuance anymore. We just need these motherfuckers to get the message.
But we'll talk about that right after
this break. So I came up with this brilliant idea earlier this week.
Oh, yeah?
So you know how the internet loves arguments?
This just reminded me of something, but yes, I know I know exactly what you mean.
You also know how the internet loves things?
By things, do you mean
like just
phallic?
There's a lot of things. Like, people are interested in everything.
It is still Pride Month, so you have to be a bit more.
So I have this idea for a game. We have 3 fish bowls.
Okay, I don't like where this is going already. We're talking about things and fish bowls, and
each fish bowl is full of pieces of paper with things written on them.
I'm glad you said pieces of paper, because when you started with the P word, right, it just felt like more confirmation that this was going to a place I didn't need it to go. But still, it still sounds like a key party. Just instead of keys, we're doing pieces of paper here. So I'm gonna need you to once again explain to me why your idea is not swinging, because it sounds like swinging so far.
So,
on the internet,
in each jar, in each fishbowl,
is another person's
the first
spouse's
one
name.
is going to be the argument starting structure. Your tier lists, your tournaments, your drafts, all of that mixed up. Your second fishbowl is going to be what your category you're arguing is. Who would win? Favorite, best, hottest, whatever. And then the last fishbowl is the topic. So we could do draft a fantasy football team of the hottest people from Real Housewives.
So somehow your idea was more disgusting than swinging. It was improv comedy and
internet improv comedy.
And I feel like I need to call my priest now.
I know a good one.
Does he like internet improv comedy?
No, he won't. He won't laptize you, though.
Oh, dang. I was hoping for a good laptizing. It is Pride Month, after all. Jesus Christ.
That was my idea. I think it would be fun, and I think you would hate it.
And it was not at all inspired by the round table improv comedy show that you just went on.
It was definitely not inspired by the Cartoon Wars South Park series where the manatees knock the ping pong balls into the thing and they make the episode of Family Guy that way.
I totally forgot about that, and I was thinking
it was like the manatee just like knocks up and it's like, use this, compare it to this, put them in this. Or no, it was like topic, doing a thing at this place.
I thought you were referencing the comedy show that you did just recently. Would you like to tell our listeners about the comedy show you did just recently?
Oh, why thank you. Yeah, I actually did a comedy show.
You sound so enthusiastic about.
I did a comedy show where we got to pitch a conspiracy theory to an audience, and we got to do a presentation.
So who hosted the event?
It would be Mia Muse Comedy.
Shout out to Mia Muse Comedy.
Awesome. I did post a clip from it. We also...
So definitely go to Zig's personal page and check that out at
Ziggy Starscream.
On everything.
On everything. But, I mean, if you really want my hot take, get on Threads. That shit is lit.
Yeah, if you're not following him on Threads, then you are miles behind, baby, because then you would have known about the comedy show, and if you were in the area, you could have seen him IRL.
Yes. But if the longtime listeners know that I believe in the conspiracy theory that boneless chicken wings are a lie created by corporate America to market to the innate nostalgia that we all have from the comfort of eating dinosaur nuggets. So when you're on a date at a Buffalo Wild Wings, somehow you were managed to able to convince her to join you on your first date to Buffalo Wild Wings. When the waiter comes over and they ask for what you want to eat, you're able to look at them straight in the face and say boneless wings and not dinosaur nuggets, because boneless wings serves as an unspoken contract, removing the stigma of ordering chicken nuggets for somebody over the age of 25.
I mean, listen. Longtime listeners know that argument isn't even really an argument. It's just the truth. Because, like, honestly...
I mean, I had to mathematically prove that it takes a chicken wing
that.
31 times the size
I saw that.
of a current chicken wing to get a full-grown buffalo running at full speed to go airborne, according to a 2-page, very minimally exhaustive college report from some undergrads at the University of Lancaster.
Shout out to undergrads, keeping pop science alive.
I love undergrads. I am now no longer an undergrad. I'm just a grad.
I was gonna say one student loan debt at a time.
Mine is manageable. Thank you.
I feel like so are dudes who order boneless nuggets, but boneless nuggets who order boneless wings. They're also probably pretty manageable. I mean, like,
Or basic.
yeah, manageable.
What do you think somebody ordering boneless wings says about them?
I mean, my first initial reaction to that is, oh, so you have a very generic palate, right?
Also,
like, you probably
with or
also
without a fork?
autism. Okay, so here's my hot take. As an adult, it is perfectly fine to eat saucy foods with a fork.
I'm going to agree with you when it comes to adult branded
Or
chicken
greasy
nuggets.
food. Saucy, no, I'm going all the way. Saucy or greasy food that
really
is
hard to eat
traditionally
a
handheld.
bone-in wing with a fork.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're that picky, I don't feel like you're ordering saucy wings, right? Like, I feel like you're probably ordering dry rub or more like a crispy, like
That
tender
person
type deal.
really loves Old Bay.
And you could probably, and you're dipping your own wing at that point, right? Like, you're ordering it with sauce on the side so you can manage the mess, right? But, like, I think it's perfectly fine to eat fries with a fork. If you are one of the unique internet babies who eats your Cheetos with chopsticks, I also think that that's or Doritos for that matter, perfectly fine. I don't want to keep a fucking stack of napkins next to me the entire time I'm eating messy food, right? So, and they're there. The utensils are fucking there, right? Who am I showing off for at this point? I gotta prove I'm a man by digging my fucking bare hand. Now, I will interrupt
That's how
myself.
Leo won his Oscar.
I will interrupt myself to say,
He had to dig his hands inside the bear. Even Leo chose the bear. Thank you. I'm done. That's the greatest joke you've ever heard.
I will say, if I catch you doing the debaucherous sinful act of fucking cutting a burger and like eating it with a fork and knife, I might actually walk up and knock your plate off of your table.
Well, I say
That's a
food-
handheld.
Food
that is a handheld.
Food that is prepared with the means to which to be eaten by hand should be eaten by hand, even if that vessel is terrible, a la a sloppy Joe. That bun is falling apart. You take one bite,
It's
and that
in
bun
the
is
name,
falling
though.
apart.
It's in the name.
Yeah.
There's no way somebody who has like the tism where they can't touch greasy, sloppy food.
All right, I
is
have a
also
qualifier to
eating
this.
is also
I
eating
want to
sloppy.
I want to
Joe.
see if we can meet in the middle on this.
That person is not eating a sloppy Joe.
So a sloppy Joe, you have to at least attempt to eat it one bite.
That's technically.
Hold on, let me finish. One bite with the bread, right? But say, like, you know, and this happens with sloppy Joes. You squeeze it, bite it, and then literally everything squirts out of the side.
Yeah, that is
Do you
the
have?
nature of the
You,
dish.
is that fine to eat with the fork, or are you forced to try to reassemble said sandwich?
Oh, absolutely. No, the only thing I would say there
And then
is,
do you eat the bread after it fell apart?
so you do the thing where you take the bread and you pick up the meat and then you take a bite of it, like you would with like a naan or something like that.
I never would have thought of that. I kind of would have just thought that the bread was gone.
No.
Kind of like, fuck the bread. The bread's
Well,
dead.
I mean, some people. The bread's dead, babe. Who's bread?
Bread pit.
Levin! Oh, man.
What's in the locks? What's in the locks? All right, that might be the best joke I've ever said.
No, I totally agree with the chicken nuggets thing. And I feel like, once again, just to clarify before we move on, that it is in the name that you will get messy eating a sloppy Joe, so therefore, I don't think anybody with the tism of, ooh, I don't want to touch that with my hands, is going to be ordering a sloppy Joe. The same way, I don't think that person would order even like a burrito, right? At the potential of the burrito like bursting open, they're getting a bowl, right? That you can eat with a fork and a knife. That's probably my one food hot take. I like how the last couple of episodes, like the one before this, it was like, what's your like date order red flag?
And I'm like, a gluten allergy. It's not quite a red flag. It's definitely a yellow flag.
Yeah, I feel like gluten allergy is like a beige flag. It is the mood ring of flags where it's like, depending on how much you annoy me during the rest of this date, that is either going to add to or be like a no effect kind of
It's
thing.
like, all right, look, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. It hasn't broken it yet, but I know this is the straw that's going to do it.
Yeah, if the rest of the hay gets heavy, this will be the final straw.
Yes. This final straw just happened to appear very early.
Yeah. Like some kind of Squid Game shit.
You know what you are playing for.
Speaking of Squid Games, you know what game I'm done playing? I'm done playing this bathroom game with you, America. I don't know if you've heard this story recently because our algorithms might be a little different, but this story is trending so much I even heard it on the radio. Right? A dad in some Midwestern town, I believe it was accosted over the weekend, and by accosted I mean filmed and harassed by another person for taking his two daughters into the girls' bathroom.
I heard about this.
And the gentleman who was distraught claimed that part of the reason why he was so distraught and offended at the father's actions was because that he was with his mother-in-law and his wife, and the mother-in-law, who is elderly, didn't feel comfortable going into the bathroom while the dad was in there with his two daughters, right? And I kind of want to get your opinion on this before I give my judgment here, because I'm judging. I'm judging, and not the person you may think. So when you hear something like, boy moms or girl dads taking their
That's an entirely different discourse I saw.
respective, it was all part
boy
of this.
girl or
Yeah.
the boy moms and girl dads.
Yeah.
That's an entirely other discourse. People are like, if you say that, that's a red flag.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. But there are single moms out here of all
it's
boys.
because
Yeah.
people actually say some of the wildest shit and hit send. Like, one of them was like, I'm so upset my son got a girlfriend because now he'll spend less time with me.
Oh, yeah, those kind of, and the fucking purity ring dads who are like, your virginity is mine to give away kind of shit.
Or, like, Mike Johnson and his son and the porn monitoring thing.
Yeah. So, parents do be weird sometimes.
So, all right, my opinion on this.
On this, though.
That was an elderly Karen abusing her Karenness.
The woman
who sent out a squire to deliver the message.
Yeah, sent out a guard dog. Okay, do you want to elaborate a little bit more, or is that just your general like opinion on the whole matter? Because I know, once again, you don't have kids,
I don't have kids.
But like, let's say you were with your.
But when I was a kid, my mom would take me into the women's room.
Yeah. Right? Like, and I guess you only have nephews, right? So you don't really run into an occasion where...
Yeah, I only have nephews.
Yeah.
But, like, even then, I was like, is this okay? And she's like, you're with me. It's okay.
Yeah. I just... Okay. Like...
If I... Like, the only thing I could have imagined, like, that guy doing is first is, like, opening the door and say, hello, I have my daughters.
So, okay. So that's another piece of advice I heard somebody else on the radio give is like, if you're going to do that kind of thing, just make sure that you announce yourself, right? So that women don't come out of the stall and see you standing there like a creep. But also, we all grow up using the same fucking bathroom as every other person in our goddamn house. Can we stop acting like this, America?
Yep.
This is my opinion is I'm fucking done with it. Can they all just be unisex bathrooms? Can everybody agree to not be fucking weirdos in the bathroom? Especially when there are kids in the fucking bathroom, right? Like, club girls, maybe don't do rails off of the bathroom sink when, you know, soccer dad is bringing his girls, his softball girls in. I know I switched sports there. That's not the point. The point is that it's fucking wild to me. It's fucking wild to me, this new American purity culture, man. Like, and it's even like infiltrated Gen Z a little bit.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I saw is like Gen Z is the next boomer.
Oh yeah, the nickname Zoomer really stuck because I feel like we talked about this a while ago on the pod, but they do culturally seem to be parallel. Boomers and Zoomers.
The Gen Z stare in like customer service.
Yeah.
Definitely gets. I'm like I feel weird because, you know, me. I'm always like, hey, what's up? You know, like to whatever, to whoever, and they're just like, this is how much, and I'm like, I mean, I guess.
I saw a theory that developed from them having to do Zoom classes and stuff like that, and that pause that you have to wait for before you can like respond to like somebody in Zoom and shit, like, and you're looking into a camera, so it's not really making eye contact. And I'm like, that feels like a stretch, but it would explain a lot, right? But I also feel like what explains a lot is their cultural polarity, right? Like, they are very headstrong and stubborn. You've got lead on one side and microplastics on the other, right? Adding to the stubbornness and the aggression factor. The social awkwardness of somebody who's been isolated in their small town their whole lives versus the social awkwardness of somebody who's been isolated in their computer room the entire time, right? And it tracks, right?
It's just weird.
So
Gen Z is like super open for certain things, but they're like, don't go there.
Yeah, and like I said, and when you examine the purity culture thing, right, it goes much further beyond like SJW stuff, which would be the easy brush to paint Zoomers with, right? But they're not fucking at historical rates, and like
they don't drink.
They they are embracing old people behavior.
They have reported way higher amounts of loneliness.
Yeah, and that was the next thing I was going to go to. Their
social anxiety.
Their friend circles have shrank, right? And the way they are constantly judging each other through their social media posts and things like that have created these bubbles that they kind of use to bumper interaction with each other.
I saw this one post where from a Zoomer, they were just like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're done with this system of this broken world and we don't want to work a 9 to 5. And
that is part of it.
But also at the same time, like, as somebody who's done restaurants and service jobs and
gig work
and I work a 9 to 5, I actually like it. And I make way more money than I did beforehand.
So I want to put a pin in that real quick because to round back to...
But I also get to use the skills that I went to college for, and I get to utilize skills that I am passionate about in my job. So I work for a company who values their employees.
They don't have a sense of direction, and it's not their fault. But I want to put a pin in that, and we'll come back to that because I still want to address this bathroom debate, right? I think that it is this whole trying to... I don't know if it's redefine gender normalities, right, in the era of gender bending, for lack of a better term, or if it is or if we are really just having like a hard time adjusting to the way the world works now, right? But we've been dealing for a very long time with, how do I put this, split families, right? Where, it is dad has got custody of the kids or mom's got custody of the kids, right? So like the idea that we are so alert that we are policing bathrooms in such a manner as if that is a place, not to say that people don't get harassed in bathrooms. Obviously that happens, and obviously if we implemented a cultural shift where public bathrooms did become more unisex, right, I'm to say that there wouldn't be a slight increase in the amount of harassment that happens in bathrooms would be naive, right? But I think that after a certain point, it would be negligible at best to like where it is now, because fucking gay people exist and you don't really have like men harassing men in the men's bathroom. Women don't like harass women in the bathroom all the time like that either. So the idea that we can't share a communal rest space when historically that is something that was done, right? I know there have been different cultures where like bathhouses and stuff like that have been separate gender and things, but like they've also been fucking mixed gender and it's been perfectly fine.
Are we all gender?
Yes, we are American and we are all gender, and I think that this fucking bathroom debate proves that it's stupid to still have gendered bathrooms.
So here's what I wanted to say. I think if he called into the women's room and was like, look, I have my 2 daughters with me, they have to go to the bathroom. Like, I can't imagine any woman who was in there after he announced it and clearly has 2 little girls with him holding his hand.
Right.
Like, having an issue, even if they were not, like, from a mother's perspective, but as, like, when the women were little girls and, would have their mother, or, like, if they had the dad, I mean, I'm not a woman, so I don't know what the dads ever were.
Any mixed gender house that has 1 bathroom can tell you that sometimes 2 people of different genders gonna be in the bathroom at the same time. And anybody with common decency can tell you that if you are in the bathroom with somebody of the opposite fucking gender, or with anybody in general, you mind your fucking business, B. Like, I don't get it. I don't get this idea that somehow the bathroom is such a perverse space that it will inspire harassment and molestation if people are allowed to use the bathroom with the opposite gender, right?
I'm just saying. If your fiance or daughter is in the bathroom and I have to pee, if I can't hold it, I am going around the corner to the storm drain. Because that would feel more comfortable.
Have you ever been at a party and the bathroom has been occupied?
Yes.
And you go outside.
Oh, and I pee in the yard.
And a girl comes up and squats and pees next to you because the bathroom is... Yeah, and did you fucking touch her while it happened? That's my goddamn point. We've all been there. Most of us have been there. Most of us have peed next to somebody of the opposite gender at some point if you binge drink.
Also, realistically, of all of the things that men have in America, I honestly think like the biggest flex is we get to pee standing up. Like the easy access to peeing and being able to pee standing up and quickly, like it really is a superpower.
You want to know what I think?
What?
You want to know why I think bathrooms are still gendered and not all gendered? I think it's
because contractors don't want to pay for the slightly extra amount of drywall to just make individual stalls.
Well, this is America, so yeah, we don't even get full stalls here in America. You can look right under them shits and watch people poop. Speaking of watching people poop, I think the patriarchy doesn't want to come to terms with the fact that bitches shit. And
no, they cry out their ways. They cry out their ways.
And men don't want to be in the bathroom with their date at the same time blowing up the same Chipotle dinner.
Exactly. No, like that's... Well, I guess what that would be for a gay date. A gate.
But, like, that's it. That's, like, the only reason, because it is... We have already established that it is already agreed. Whether you
imagine... All right, I mean, like,
whether you
I can't
were the
say
same
can you
sex
imagine,
or not.
this is literally something we would both have to imagine, but, like... Being on a gate and then the one dude who's the bottom just like completely blows up a toilet.
Are you asking me to imagine being gay during Pride Month?
Yes. Yes, I am.
And then watching my bottom, watching my bottom out.
And just be like, oh man, this is...
No, absolutely, no, absolutely not. Yeah, no, it would not be a night. That's like your hetero date getting her fucking period, right?
Yeah.
Or having the shits, right? Because women bitches shit. So, like, what other reason is there? Because, like I said, we've established that across the board, same gender or not, it's wrong to touch people in the fucking bathroom.
Yeah. It's wrong to touch people unless they ask for it in general.
So, what else is there? The only other thing there is one, we either need to make more family restrooms so that this kind of thing doesn't happen, or we make kids-only bathrooms where you can't go in unless you're fucking under 12 or some shit like that, so nobody's touching kids, and the kids don't get groomed. What else? What other fucking solution to this kind of purity testing is there? Like, we are literally only a few stones throw away, and you'll get the pun here in a second, to women go in that room and men get to say when women get to use the bathroom. Women only use the bathroom when the men are done using the bathroom, and then when you're done using the bathroom, you have to go outside of town for 7 days.
know what?
And also burn everything that you sat on when you were in that bathroom.
I had an experience recently that is relevant.
That was a joke about two different religions.
So, I got to perform at a brunch show hosted by...
Which you would have been invited to if you were following him at...
The Flood Pod and at Ziggy Starscream. Actually at Ziggy Starscream, because I'm conditioned to say at the Flood Pod on everything.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
on everything. Because it is
on
at the Flood Pod on everything, and that is on everything.
But, so you performed a brunch show.
Shout out to Xavier Morgan.
Shout out to
for
Big Xavier.
Inviting me on.
Pause.
Also, somebody
Not
we
pause,
need
because
to-
it's Pride Month.
somebody I need to get on the podcast. But it was an old bar, real old bar, and the bar stool pulled up, and like there wasn't a bar at the bottom. It was actually like a little wood like spot where your feet could rest, and then there was a curved trough at the bottom. Because apparently back in the day, guys just didn't even leave the bar stool. They just pissed in a trough right there.
That sounds like some real saloon shit. That also sounds like one of the reasons why women... I could totally understand why women wouldn't want to use the bathroom with men.
We're gross.
I mean, now, to be fair, so are women. They don't want you... The myth that the women's bathroom is nice and pristine and all kinds of elegant and bourgeois, that's a myth. Them bitches
I'm terrified of the moment in anything that I'm writing that calls for a scene in the women's room, because I'm like, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna write this.
Them bitches be shitting. And they get a thing called period shits. It's even worse than regular
Bread
shits.
pit? You ate too much bread, you got a pit.
I'm just saying, don't let them fool you. They are just like us. They are just like us. And I mean, that is kind of what they want men to understand, but also...
Yet we're still a fan.
But also, I totally understand why. Because you niggas have literally revealed to them, and this is part of the reason why Gen Z women are done dating Gen Z men. Because you guys go online and you mouth vomit things like, why would I wash my ass? That's gay.
You use soap.
No, you just let the soap run down your ass crack.
No.
Right? And even that's a little gay, according to the men on the internet.
God.
Yeah. Niggas don't wash
They
their
can't
ass.
smell themselves?
No, they think that's... Do you think that RFK is smelling his unwashed...
Yes, actually.
Sorry. And going, ew, this is gross. No.
He's not saying this is gross. He's saying, like,
brainworms.
maybe I should eat some more raw bark.
Yeah, and he's going, it doesn't smell manly enough. Right? Like...
You heard about the one story from his sister saying, like, Bobby would pick up snake and the snake would bite him like 4 times. And he's like, look, I found a snake, and it bites him again. Like,
Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. See, he's in the wrong profession. He shouldn't be in politics. He should have been on Animal Planet.
yes. It should have been him instead of Steve Irwin.
Thank you. I mean, can you imagine how that would have shifted
That would have
the
been
timeline?
a great thing to add to the Kennedy bloodline.
Yes. I mean, all of
Be like, man, they're so unlucky. 2 of them got killed, 1 by accident, and this one got killed by a stingray.
God damn it, dude. That would have been fucking...
Steve Irwin is the Secretary of Health and Human Services, though. Wouldn't be awful. It'd be weird.
Yeah.
It'd be weird.
Yeah, because he needs to be in, like, agriculture or something like that.
It would be strange. I'd
Maybe
be like, I mean, you know how to field dress a gator. I guess that's cool, but...
Yeah. He knows how to identify raccoons by toe count.
And he'll sound very attractive in press conferences.
I also think that he would probably agree that mixed gender bathrooms are just the way of the future. Now, you know, I'm sure Bendy, or what's his son's name? I can't remember his son's name, but yeah, I'm sure they could speak better to that. But it just feels like, it just, at this point, listening to this argument and the different fucking opinions on it all feels so very archaic, when next week it is literally, as we are recording, it's literally going to be one of the fucking hottest weeks on the goddamn planet.
Because it's my birthday!
Shout out to
Trump may say we're the hottest country on the planet, but for my birthday, we are.
And on that note, I think we're going to take a quick
Break.
The Ottawa police chief had to put out a public statement recently addressing what is not funny, a disgusting abuse of power by some of the police cadets.
Oh, wait, yep, nope, I heard about this.
Who seem to be using the public database to track down potential dates. Yes, you heard that right. Police officers in Ottawa are using their public database to track the license plates of, specifically listed by Chief Eric, women they find coming out of coffee shops and the gym.
Yikes.
To get their public information and pursue them in a romantic sense. Also women whose cases they have been dispatched to, and I think this is important for multiple reasons.
When you can't get enough information off of Facebook.
So the first thing that stuck out to me about this story particular was the juxtaposition in the Ottawa police chief's response to this versus stories that I have seen of similar nature here in America. This was addressed very promptly, very sternly, very like matter of fact, right?
Almost like they respect women or something.
Like, my man was like, if this is the kind of behavior that you are going to be participating in, get the fuck off the force, buddy. We don't have time for that bullshit here.
What? You saying I can't do this in Trump's America? Well, I mean, this is Canada, so no.
I mean, and that's kind of my point. Whereas, like, I have seen similar stories like this here in America swept under the rug. And this is, you know, this has been a long-standing thing for a very long time now. Police abuse of the database system, that story trended back in like fucking 2012 when it was like shown that police officers were like using people's Facebook profiles to like track them down and monitor their whereabouts and shit like that. So this story going so viral that it eventually hit TMZ, which is where I found it, right? It kind of hints to the fact that, or not hints to the fact, but it is evidence to why people in positions like police officer aren't really trusted, right? Like I don't know what kind of strenuous or rigorous approval system that the Ottawa Police Department has, right? But it is consistently brought up here in America that police officers need to go through less service learning hours than teachers do.
And
right?
certainly less than lawyers.
So the idea that I'm not going to say anybody can become a police officer, but it doesn't take like a lot.
Yeah, it takes a certain level of trust that you have to earn as a police officer. And
the the kind of like freedom that they are given, right? Like they are getting, like, if you've seen the kind of tools that police officers get to like scan license plates, like literally that's why the cops can just sit there. That fucking camera that they have on their vehicles can scan. I don't care if you're going 70, 80, 112 miles an hour, right? It's got your fucking license plate.
You know, that sounds like a dangerous combination of freedom and trust. You know what else is a dangerous combination of freedom and trust? What ASAP Rocky did in front of a crowd. This man is married to Rihanna. And he goes out in front of a crowd talking to single women, talking about his single life. Motherfucker, did you not learn from what the internet did to Klay Thompson?
So...
And you're more pot committed than he is.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate now and say that this was a very ASAP Rocky thing to do. And
you're just like Rihanna sitting there with a coffee laughing?
Not necessarily, right? I'm not going to piss the few women in
Please
our
do not say women's. Don't say women's.
I was hesitating to say females. Right?
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
The few women that we have in our listening audience, shout out to y'all.
We appreciate you, and we refer to you as women, not females,
females
or women's.
I will not.
Or bitches.
I have not.
You are women, and we respect you, and we love you, and we thank you for life.
Unless that's your kink, and we don't kink shame. But I will not do females anymore. I'm beyond that. I do think
you will not say females anymore.
Well, yeah, I do females. Maybe not females with dicks, but like, you know, females in general.
A specific female.
However,
you have a fiance and a baby mama.
However, this is not the first time A$AP Rocky has been caught doing felonious activities while under the marriage of Rihanna. Under the marriage of Rihanna? I don't like.
Wow, that might be why A$AP is rebelling, because you're making him subservient to the queen.
I mean, he has been a very husband guy since he has been in a relationship with Rihanna.
I mean, we literally have the picture of the two of them right up there.
Okay, so that is because once it became very evident that Will and Jada were not the couple that we thought they were, we clearly needed a replacement. And I think A$AP Rocky and Rihanna filled that replacement for everybody unintentionally, right? So now...
Because it's not Jay-Z and Beyonce. Because that almost feels contrived, honestly.
It doesn't... well, I mean, since Lemonade, yeah. But, like, A$AP Rocky and Rihanna felt wholesome in a way that also felt millennial, if that makes sense. Like, we had our version of that. Where, even though, like, we had Jay-Z and Beyonce, like... We can agree unless you support the
our generation is
theory,
just looking for our Kennedys.
Unless you support the conspiracy theory that Beyonce is lying about her age, they belong to Gen Xers. A$AP Rocky and Rihanna filled that void for us that we hope Chris Brown and Rihanna would fill. However,
or Drake and Rihanna.
No, nobody thought that was gonna work.
I mean, God, Drake did. Yeah, Drake did.
Drake thinks everything is gonna work. That's why he's still trying to make Janice Shut the Fuck Up work. I mean, how... Okay. Janice Shut the Fuck Up is not a bad song.
Only works because it's Janice and not Janet.
A lot of people also...
Mike would pop out of the grave to whoop Aubrey's ass if he said Janet Shut the Fuck Up.
A lot of people think Janice is Beyonce. I won't get into why that is, but... If you have the time.
This feels like another Smokey Robinson conspiracy.
It is very much one of those. But if you have the time and you want to waste some time, check it out. It's a pretty convincing conspiracy theory if you have the time to get into it. However, what I will say is that when you are married and have children with one of the most influential non-influencers on the planet,
who is also gorgeous.
You probably shouldn't get caught on camera doing things like telling the whole front row of your concert that you would smash if you weren't in a relationship.
ASAP Rocky, that's a soft move.
Soft move.
Now, listen, it is very much a soft move. It is so much a soft move that I have not made a mistake like that since high school. And I will go ahead and be very vulnerable here and say that it is a high school mistake that I once made, right? And was caught on MySpace making, right?
ASAP Rocky, I think, is older than both of us.
No, I'm gonna push back on
He's
that.
probably between you and I. I'm gonna bet that he's 35. He definitely feels like a peer.
Oh, ASAP Rocky is older than me by 2 years.
He's 37?
Yeah. Yep. I was not expecting that one. Black don't crack. What also doesn't crack is apparently the sexual immaturity of men. Because apparently, when you see a bunch of fine shits in the front row, you can't contain yourself, even though the world knows you are dating one of the most sought after women on the fucking planet.
Yup.
Now, hear me out. Here is where I play both babyface and devil's advocate.
And heel?
And heel.
All three.
A$AP Rocky in himself was already a sexual fashion icon. And I say that during Pride Month with the most heterosexuality as possible.
Punk Rocky.
So okay, now we have to talk about men's insecurity, because being overshadowed by Rihanna is probably a bit intimidating. Let's be real. She definitely makes more money than that nigga.
Yeah, definitely more famous than him.
And she is definitely more famous than him. This is not a Beyonce Jay-Z situation where it is arguable whether Beyonce is more famous than Jay-Z. Right? This is pretty clear.
This is very clear. Rihanna is very much more famous than
Nigga, she was
A$AP
in
Rocky.
Home. She was in Home. A$AP Rocky was in Fresh, which was a good movie, right? But it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
I'm pretty sure Rihanna is a literal billionaire now.
Yes, I keep saying that.
Yeah,
She's
literal
also a
billionaire.
She's also a billionaire, which is probably intimidating, but not as intimidating as MAGA men would like you to believe, right? However, when you are coming off the heels of a subpar response to a Drake diss and a very subpar reception to your most current album, right? I'm sure to a lot of men it is very understandable how you could see a bunch of attractive women in the front row of your audience and think, hey, I might want to acknowledge them.
Well, I mean, it could be worse. Lizzo's newest album sold less than 3,000 copies in the first week.
I like how you compared him to a woman here to make the argument even. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. While Jay-Z is taking his dreads out to address the allegations across the board, right? Drake's allegations and the allegations that he wears a wig. In a freestyle trying to remind everybody that if we really insist the sleeping giant can be and will be woken up, to make sure that the kill shot is delivered to Drake, as if Kendrick did not do that already.
Looking directly into the camera while doing it.
A$AP Rocky should take notes from another New York legend who survived cheating allegations on his arguably more famous spouse, right? Like, we all saw the elevator video. Now, Solange and Beyonce are from Texas.
Galveston. Dirty ass water.
Rihanna is from Barbados.
Yes.
I am afraid that A$AP Rocky may get stabbed in that elevator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the people from the Caribbean don't fucking play, and A$AP Rocky should know that. He should know that. Now, I mean, let's be real. We all saw the footage. Most of us, I should say, because we probably do have a couple of Zoomer listeners who have not seen the infamous Lamborghini footage.
Kellen has. I can attest to that.
It's not great. Doesn't make Chris Brown look great.
Nope.
However, everybody who was old enough to remember that incident remembers the fact that Rihanna did not go out like a bitch.
Nope.
She bit the shit out of that nigga.
Yup.
And kicked the fuck, and so much so that he had to pull the Lamborghini over. Right? Now, I don't think A$AP Rocky is built like that. I'm just gonna be real. Right? Like, I'm not saying that A$AP Rocky is a bitch. I am just saying that
he's smart.
The kind of light-skinned animosity that Chris Brown has, I don't think A$AP Rocky has the capacity for.
He's kind of just like, I don't want that smoke.
I don't think he does. Which is why
he's like, I like the brisket. I don't want the smoke, though.
Making statements like, I would smash if I wasn't in a relationship.
He's asking for smoke.
Gentlemen, young listeners, this is for y'all. And I want everybody here to pay clear attention.
When it comes to women like Meg Thee Stallion and Rihanna...
That's not even what I was going to say. But it is true. First of all, know your caliber. And if you are lucky enough to score outside of your caliber,
don't fuck it up.
Also, statements like, if I wasn't in a relationship...
Stop, cut off right there. Already a problem.
I would smash...
Even worse!
Are not good statements. If that thought ever comes across your mind, keep it to yourself.
And call your pastor.
Don't say them or type them out loud. Because
Jeff Bezos is always listening.
So is your girl. And if she has ever yelled at you for hearting another girl's pictures, statements like, if I was single, I would smash, aren't gonna fly.
Well, if we're gonna talk about what ifs in women, I think it's about time to talk about Zelda. Because Zelda Ocarina of Time is getting a remake, and if you know, this is a story of what-ifs involving time travel, saving a princess, where destiny is determined for the past, the present, and the future. At the end, that determines the beginning. This is a remake that has been 30 years in the making. Everybody has said for the longest time that they want to replay this game. This is a game that has countless nostalgia for all of us. This might be the game that you in the back over there might be thinking about. That's the first time a game felt larger than life. That was the first time I really felt inside of a game. That's the first time I ever really felt like I was the hero. You were the silent protagonist that's cursed and screamed their way all the way through the water temple until you wanted to drive your head through a wall because that one key was always underneath the central pillar. I get it. And a new day is coming.
Do you feel like this is more influential than The Legend of Zelda being remade?
The original one?
Yeah.
Yeah. More people got hooked on Zelda
because
and video game because of Ocarina
of Time.
Like, also, Ocarina of Time is widely considered a, quote, perfect video game for a multitude of reasons. Yes, its pacing is its pacing is perfect.
Okay. That's a big thing to me. Like
its pacing is perfect. If anything, I think it might go a little too quick. Its pacing is perfect. Its controls are tight. It was revolutionary for its time. Ocarina of Time was the first
so
one.
Was Legend.
No,
so was Legend.
Hold on. Ocarina of Time was so game breaking. That was the first game to have Z targeting. First game with Z targeting.
Yeah.
It might be a different button, but that's the first one that said 3D world, hit a button, hold a button, lock on to that 3D target.
That was one of the first games with the N64 where you were like, oh, that's what the button on the back of the controller is for.
Unless it was GoldenEye, and then it was beep, 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 beep.
I feel like there were some Z elements in Banjo-Kazooie too, but not really with like
I'm
Super
so
Mario.
mad at every game developer during N64's era where they're like, yeah, let's have them hold the joystick in the middle and awkwardly their right hand on the other side.
Gay, you gotta love new game mechanics. Right, the first time we got the touchpad, analog sticks.
N64 is the worst fucking controller I've ever used.
But that is not actually arguable. It's that and the original Xbox controller.
I prefer the original Xbox controller over the N64 controller.
But anytime we get new game mechanics, remember moving to analog sticks in general, right? From like the simple AB D-pad system to yeah, I do. I was very young, but yes. It was a bit of a learning curve. Right? When you go from especially, I guess it's a little bit different for you because more of the games that you probably developed your foundation for gaming involved analog controls versus where
mine didn't require precision like that.
I came up on Sega Genesis and Nintendo SNES, right? Where
I was playing RPGs and things like that, where mechanics and spacing was not as important.
Right.
So a D-pad was fine for most of my gaming experience growing up.
So this new Ocarina of Time remake, are we looking at a Lucasfilms kind of remaster type scenario where it is the same game but better graphics, or are we looking at a Final Fantasy remake where we are telling the story the way which I guess what would we compare
a retelling of the story? With your Final Fantasy remake 7 remake comparison.
So what would we compare that to cinematically, right? But because I feel like there is a film comparison for that, where a movie that
So I would compare the Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII Remake. I would compare those two to Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, okay. I like that. I was going Nosferatu, right? Where it's we have the original and then we have the 25
I'm saying version. Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 because 2049 is echoes of the original.
Yeah, I like it.
So and that's the thing with the 7 remake is it's a retelling, quote unquote, of the story.
It is like a director's
but there's deviations to it that makes the game different.
It feels like a director's cut.
So I haven't played the second part. I played the first part all the way through. I don't have a PS5. So I watched all of the cutscenes from the second part, and the way it's going is there's basically running concurrently. There is the original Final Fantasy VII storyline running.
Yeah.
And then the altered storyline, where in the original storyline, Aerith is dead.
Yeah.
And then in the altered storyline, Aerith is alive.
I forgot they were doing
Cloud is existing in between the two realities.
Yeah, I forgot they were doing a timeline split.
So here's my thing about so for the Ocarina of Time remake trailer, the only thing that we've seen is them telling the story, and then they do the zoom in opening shot of Link when he's sleeping.
Yeah.
I hope the game is a remake, a la Final Fantasy VII style.
So you want it to be
They
want
can keep
a couple
the story,
of new elements.
They can keep the story the same, but I
You want some
want
new
the
elements.
combat to be more than hit the B button.
Yeah.
If they took their last 4 entries into the franchise and combined them, I think they would have a fantastic combat system. And those entries are Twilight Princess,
Okay.
Skyward Sword,
Yep.
which is the least impactful of them, but I have to include it. Breath of the Wild and
Right.
Tears of the Kingdom, which can
Yeah.
be
I feel
paired
like
together.
a new Zelda game without Breath of the Wild mechanics feels weird at this point.
I agree with a lot of Zelda fans saying they want to bring some sense of linearity to it,
Yeah.
where the story has a sense of cohesion, because with Breath of the Wild and Tears of a Kingdom, it was so freeform, where it was, okay, there are story moments placed on the map, and you just get to find them in whatever order
Yeah, you niggas
do.
was literally building mechs in that game, right?
Where, like, I think, like, Zelda purists would embrace the idea of, like, the freedom of Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, where you're able to, like, climb a mountain or swim in anything that you see.
Right.
But, you know, if you have to get into a certain area, maybe it's guarded by the Gerudo, and they're not going to let you in without X, Y,
Can
or
you
Z.
imagine
or,
now? Like, take it back to
like,
your
the
first.
map opens up as story
Okay.
plot points are hit.
So that's kind of my point, right? Like, take it back to your first time playing Ocarina of Time, right? And now I want you to imagine that game in the same open world aspect of Tears of a Kingdom.
I already know the answer to this question. My reaction to walking out onto the Great Plateau for the first time playing Tears of a Kingdom, no, playing Breath of the Wild,
Yeah, Breath of the Wild, right?
was my same reaction of walking out of Kokiri Forests when I was like 6 into Hyrule Field. Wow, this is huge.
Right. Now, but imagine being able to explore Hyrule Field the same way you can explore Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, like that's what I hope goes into
Agreed.
a remake.
Agreed.
I want more complex combat.
Yeah.
I want, like, and one of the other things that bothers me about old Zelda games is, like, you would get this key item from a dungeon and you'd, like, only use it for that dungeon.
Yeah.
And then you never really need it outside of that.
Right. It's like a MacGuffin kind of thing.
Yeah, and Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I think, did a really good job by not having specialized items.
Yeah.
But, like, items that you find in your everyday, and they have utility.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, if I'm gonna work my ass off to get the Megaton Hammer, I want the Megaton Hammer to do more than just, you know, beat the dragon at the end of the Fire Temple.
And I even agree with Breath of the Wild's aspect of, like, durability, right? Like, if I get the Megaton...
No, I love weapon durability.
Yeah, so-
I think it's way too low, especially in Breath of the Wild.
But, like, if
But
you...
weapon durability, like, the whole point of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom was for it to be a survival adventure game. And
So-
and taking away weapon durability really removes a lot of the tension of the survival aspect.
So that's why I agree that a weapon durability for things like a Mega Hammer, right, are necessary, especially when you know when you have to, like, strategize only being able to use it a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I feel like elements like that should be kept, right? I feel like the open world accessibility is something that would be fun to explore with a game like Ocarina of Time, right? Or even like a Majora's Mask, right?
I also have a gut feeling that Nintendo is going to make this and just Deus Ex Machina with this and fix the Zelda timeline Because I feel like every single time they release a Zelda, they're like, God damn it, the fans fucked it up again.
I prefer patching a game through new iterations of the game versus patching a game a la Cyberpunk.
Yeah. By a la literal patching a game.
Yeah. It's like, okay, cool. We left this the way it was in the game. We realized we fucked up there, but like we've improved upon that in this new game.
You know it's bad, like when Nintendo patches the one player Zelda game because the duplication code is too broken.
I do think it would be interesting, especially with the reception that games like Hotline Miami or Enter the Gungeon have received, to explore reimagining the world of a top-down Legend of Zelda game, right? Like we like, don't get me wrong, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were fantastic games, right?
They quite literally, both of them have taken my breath away, just because like the holy shit they did this.
However, with that being said, I think it would be very interesting to see a reimagined top-down version of Legend of Zelda, right? Like what that would look like, because I remember getting a lot of that in the N64 era with games like Mega Man, the Bomber game, right? Like, so it would be interesting to see with the new graphics what kind of new dynamics we could introduce to a top-down Legend of Zelda game. Like the re-releases of a lot of platformers that I see being, or like the beat-em-up side scrollers that I see being released, right? I had a lot of fun with the new Streets of Rage game that was released several years back, right? So it would be fun to see that with Legend of Zelda.
Respectfully,
No.
fuck that.
No?
Give me all of the 3D Zeldas. Give me all of them. I totaled my car back in 2011. And you know what I did? The moment I cashed my check at Walmart, I bought a Wii and Skyward Sword the day it came out. Because I planned to cash that check that day.
I can
3D
respect it.
Zeldas shape game culture.
I mean, okay.
But I will also say, everybody who goes and looks at rose-colored glasses with Zelda games, not a single Zelda game is perfect. Yes, Ocarina of Time might be a 10 out of 10, but if you play it now, you'll be like, oh my god, this game is so fucking good. But all I do is hit the B button.
I think it's kind of short-sighted to immediately poo-poo on a top-down game. Like, I don't know if you've played Hotline Miami. That game is fun as fuck. Enter the Gungeon is also
I played Grand Theft Auto 2, and then I played Grand Theft Auto 3. Guess which one I had more fun playing?
It's not fucking 1998 anymore, though. There's a lot more you can
right.
do with
the game that came out in
top-down game.
1998 was 3D back then.
There's a lot more you could do with the top-down game. I feel like, especially with games like the two games I previously mentioned, and the impact that they made.
Well, let's not even think about a top-down Zelda when they are remaking arguably the greatest video game ever made. And I hope for an actual remake, because I think the game deserves to be more fleshed out. I know combat deserves to get evolved.
I agree with you there.
I firmly believe that now that the story of the Hero of Time has been extended through Twilight Princess, that they give a little bit more depth to the character. I think the side character, I think the Ocarina of Time Hyrule was too big for the cartridge to contain initially.
Talk that talk.
I think the Ocarina of Time Hyrule was too big for the N64 cartridge to contain.
Cook.
Because there is so many small things that get left unexplained, and whether or not that's like Nintendo trying to be like coy or it's fuck it, the fandom will make some shit up and make it canon for us. I'm honestly not sure because I've watched a lot of Zelda video essays and they're based off a lot of really vague shit.
That's a fair point. I mean, that's a fair point.
But like, this is fairly unanimously a top 5 video game of all time.
No, I don't disagree with you there. When it comes to like monumental moments in gaming, Ocarina of Time
Z-targeting changed the literal game.
is right up there, right? With, I think, we'll say Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
3. First one to go 3D.
Okay, if that's the metric, then yeah. I think Vice City, though, had a larger cultural impact.
That's
than
fine,
3.
but the more impactful one from a design perspective is, without question, 3.
All right,
GTA 3 is... I think there is a very strong case that GTA 3, from a game development perspective, might be the most important video game of all time.
I mean, okay, so I don't disagree with you, especially when you consider that Grand Theft Auto 6 may be the first $100 video game. And paying $100 for a video game is just more proof that none of this is normal.
But what should be normal is following us at the Flood Pod on everything.
And that is on everything. And what else should be normal is making sure you like, share, and subscribe, because that'll help us reach more viewers.
And a shout out to our patrons in Rage Peacock.
Hey, we see you at the end of the episode.
The coolest cat named Slater. A Thunder Knight. All right, yo. And Andrew P. Raymer.
Shout out to y'all, and if you want to get your name dropped at the beginning, end, and random points in the episode, make sure that you subscribe to us at Patreon, and we'll be back at you next week with more hot takes.
Next week, in air quotes,
deuces.
Deuces.
Look, it's a flood.
The flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
Wait, why can't we talk about Black Sabbath?